Good day, good day, good day again, beloved of God. This is Prophet West coming to you once again. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep sending. I'm going to keep speaking. I'm going to keep preaching. I'm going to keep being obedient unto God, that you might be encouraged, that God's people might be uplifted. For this is the will of God concerning me. I know for a fact. And God keep impressing in my heart to release messages and encourage you. And I am going to be obedient. Look, today I'm going to be very, very, very brief. I'm just going to give you a thought, give you a message of encouragement and an encouraging thought. And today, briefly, the message today is giving thanks, being thankful in all things. Even First Thessalonians 5:8 says to, in all things, give thanks, for this is the will of God concerning you. We must give thanks, because you must understand that when you give thanks, you're showing appreciation. When someone does something to you in the natural, when they help you, it's always polite to give thanks. It's letting them know that you appreciate the effort that they have done, that they've completed for you. And so always be mindful, regardless of in life when things are not going your way, because in life that's going to happen. Things are not going to always go your way. And the thing that you must realize is that in friction, when there takes a negative and a positive, it's what generates fire. It's what generates light. It's what generates power. You look at a battery in a car, or any kind of functioning automobile or any type of transportation. It takes a battery, which there's a negative and a positive, and once those things connect and work together, then that generates power. In your life, oftentimes the negative places that you go and the bad things that you encounter in your life, is what's generation power in your life. The Bible says that it counted all joy when divers temptations come against you, for such it works patience, experience, and hope. But also there's a great recompense or reward in your trials and the dilemmas that you go through. For the things that you go through with trials and dilemmas, it's the very thing that brings out, it's the very thing that causes something in you to arise. Case in point, if you look at a mother who's having a child, when a mother is having a child, and when she comes to that place where she's about to deliver, there comes pain. They're called labor pains. And those pains are bad, and they last for a certain period of time. And at the worst place where that baby is about to be delivered, that pain is overwhelming. Matter of fact, that pain is almost like death when a mother's it's close to death when a mother's having a child. But once that pain subsides and that child comes forth, that pain ends, that pain is over, and that blessing comes out. That is such as how life is. A lot of times when we're going through things, we're in a place where it's a pressure place. And there's an old saying that pressure busts pipes, but also they make diamonds. In your pressure place, in the place where you're going through, you're being squeezed, you're being hurt, you're being tossed to and fro, when you're being rejected, you're going through uncomfortable places in your life. That is the squeezing place. That's the place where you are being birthed, something in you being birthed. That's just like an oyster shell. When that oyster shell has become irritated, that mouth is closed. But if you keep irritating that oyster is going to open up its mouth, and in those oysters there are diamonds that are there. There's also an oyster that also, once it's irritated, it even when its mouth is open, it also creates a certain type of aroma. So, beloved of God, give thanks in all things. Give thanks. I'm reminded in the Bible, and I believe it was in St. Luke, the 17th chapter and 11th verse, where the Bible talks about there were 10 lepers men. Jesus was traveling through Samaria, through a certain place in Samaria, and these 10 lepers men saw Jesus and said, "Oh Lord, have mercy on us." And so Jesus gave them one instruction, is to go show yourself to the priest. And as they began to walk in obedience to that word that Jesus gave to them, the Bible said, but there was only one. As they were walking, they all became cleansed. They all became healed as they were walking in obedience in the process of going to show themselves to the priest. But the Bible said there was only one man, and he was a Samaritan, that turned back to Jesus and gave thanks. Gave thanks unto him. And see, beloved of God, it's so important to give thanks in everything, in your good times and your bad times. The Bible says that all things work together for good to them that are the called according to his purpose. The called, that means that you are called out. You're called out for a purpose. You're called out for this time, for this hour, in the mind of God, that God can use you and you'll be an example in this day and time. And so understand this, beloved of God. Give thanks in all things, because in your thankfulness and your thanksgiving and your thankfulness unto God, you're letting God know that you really appreciate him, that you really appreciate his effort. You really appreciate him being Lord in your life. Just like this one leprous man who was healed, who was delivered, he came back and said thanks. And Jesus said that faith had made him whole. He was healed because he had the protocol, and he had the wherewithal, he had the understanding to come back, to turn around and give God thanks. Beloved of God, remember, in all things, give God thanks. I know that things are not right always in your life. You know, everything don't sound good and feel good always, but yet and still, never forget to give thanks. God bless you. Heaven smile on you, and may all God's best be yours. This is Prophet West.